Fear. All great Batman stories are about fear. As the embodiment of fear, Batman can strike terror into the hearts of evildoers throughout Gotham City. But what does Batman himself fear? Beneath all the armor, he still is a man after all.
No, that's not quite right. While live-action Batman adaptations like Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins explore fear as primal and animalistic, the Lego Batman movie directed by Chris McKay looks at fear from an emotional angle. The film focuses on overcoming the terror of being vulnerable and the benefits of letting others into your life even if that scares the hell out of you. Unfortunately, the film is largely dismissed just because it is a kid-friendly animated flick filled with butt jokes. However, despite its very light tone, the Lego Batman movie's thematic value is still very much worth exploring. When the film begins, Batman, aka Bruce Wayne, only has 3 relationships that he even remotely acknowledges. The first is a picture of him and his parents that he confides in. The second is his loyal butler, Alfred. But Bruce's relationship with Alfred didn't require any work to attain. For all of Bruce's life, Alfred was there. However, Bruce refuses to acknowledge Alfred as a parental figure. The thought of having a real parental figure in his life terrifies him after the murder of his parents. So he rejects Alfred's affections in favor of his third relationship, the only one that brings him a legitimate sense of joy: the city of Gotham. The love Batman receives from the masses of Gotham isn't a genuine human love. It's a celebrity adoration that would disappear instantly if Bruce stopped being the Batman. Bruce's reliance on his insane popularity keeps the part of him that needs to be loved just satisfied enough to stay afloat and comfortably fulfills an otherwise terrifying aspect of Bruce's life. It's only a matter of time before Bruce must face his demons, and his demons are coming. The Joker is coming. On a surface level, the Joker's plan is to blow up the city of Gotham. However, the reality is that the Joker does not want to destroy the city, he wants to fight Batman. The Joker wants Batman to admit that for better or worse, they have a special relationship, that they are arch nemeses. Batman, with his internalized fears of connection, won't do it. He says,
"You mean nothing to me,"
breaking Joker's heart. After Bruce spends another lonely night eating microwave lobster in his massive, empty mansion, Alfred confronts Bruce, pulling no punches, straight up telling Bruce that
your greatest fear is being a part of a family again.
To this, Batman claims that actually his greatest fear is
snake clowns, because you put that idea in my head.
Batman uses snakes and clowns in his defense here because these are physical things. If the only things you fear are physical, then you can just beat the crap out of them if they get too close. By focusing on the kind of fear you can punch, Batman convinces himself that he has conquered fear while ignoring his deepest emotional fears. Later this same day, Bruce goes to Police Commissioner Jim Gordon's retirement ceremony. Batman does not want to do this. This is a Bruce Wayne activity. He does not want to be Bruce Wayne. He wants to be Batman. But he has an Alfred who forces him to go. Still, Batman does not want to take off his mask. If it weren't for his need to maintain his secret identity, he wouldn't. This is one of the 2 times in the entire movie that Bruce removes his cowl. If he is Batman all the time, then he never has to be Bruce Wayne. He never has to look in the mirror and see the face of the boy who watched his parents die in the gutter for no reason at all. But time is ticking and the Joker is hellbent on changing Batman's heart. When the Joker bursts into Gordon's retirement party, it seems as if once again Batman will get to save the day and bask in the city's praise. Instead, the Joker does the one thing Batman is not prepared for. He turns himself in, along with every other villain in Gotham City. In one fell swoop, the Joker eliminates the need for Batman, forcing Bruce to confront the terrifying loneliness of being human. Before the Joker turns himself in, Bruce meets 2 key characters: Barbara Gordon, the new police commissioner, and Dick Grayson, a sad orphan. These characters each want to form relationships with one side of Bruce's double life. Barbara wants Batman to team up with her and the police so that he can be more accountable. The police element of that is nonsense, but the idea of fighting besides Barbara is somewhat reasonable. Barbara believes Batman cannot solve every problem alone. She says, "It takes a village."
Not a Batman.
Dick wants to be adopted by Bruce, longing for a human fatherly connection. While distracted by Barbara's beauty, I cannot believe I just said that about a Lego figure, Bruce accidentally adopts Dick. Rather than accept the terrifying role of Dick's father, Batman desperately searches for a way to legitimize his continued existence as the Caped Crusader. He convinces himself that the Joker is still up to something and that he needs to steal a device from Superman to send the Joker to the Phantom Zone, a space prison for the greatest villains of all time. He sees Dick not as a son, but as another tool in his belt whose nimble body will be useful in this mission. During the mission, Batman's fears are turned against him for a moment. Superman is throwing a party for the Justice League, a party Batman was not invited to. Despite his attempts to come off as a badass loner, we can see that this upsets Batman. We can see his longing for connection clashing with his fear of being vulnerable. After Dick successfully steals the Phantom Zone projector, Batman expresses pride for the briefest of moments.
I am super proud of myself.
He quickly pulls his wall back up, but leaves a small hole in it by allowing Dick to call him Padre, a variant of Dad. Dick is happy with this and asks to be called by a new name too, Robin. Despite this inch of progress, Batman then makes his most selfish choice yet, sending the Joker to the Phantom Zone as Barbara begs him not to. Batman's antics are not celebrated as Barbara locks him and his now accomplice Robin into cells. This puts Batman in a situation where he is unable to escape when Robin asks if he ever gets scared. Batman answers no, but admits that Bruce sometimes does. While on a surface level this statement protects Batman's secret identity, this also shows how Bruce thinks of himself as a separate entity from Batman, once again distancing himself from his human side. The Joker returns to Gotham with a horde of new villains brought back with him from the Phantom Zone, creating a problem so big that neither Barbara nor Batman could possibly handle it alone. Batman agrees to team up with Barbara, freeing himself from his cell, but he clearly does not actually want to work as a team. He builds a jet with only one seat and tries to do everything himself, putting his faith in a literal rope above his human companions. This obviously does not work, and when things immediately get desperate, it's Barbara's swift action that saves the team from disaster. Once everyone takes on a task that is uniquely suited to them, the fight against the swarming baddies gets considerably easier. Batman gets genuinely excited from the ways working as a team has made ass-kicking more efficient, but fighting as a team doesn't carry emotional weight. Until Robin drops the F-bomb. While taking a selfie, Robin's first picture with anyone he cares about, he calls the group his family. Batman's wall is shattered, his fears pouring in all at once. The framing of the photograph is exactly the same as the photograph Bruce has of his parents moments before they were murdered. In Batman's mind, two possibilities arise. Either everyone he lets in again will suffer the same fate as his parents, leaving him with twice the pain, or he will die and leave these people in his shoes, spending night after night staring at this photograph, wondering if they could have stopped it. Or there's the third option. Continue what he's been doing all along. Go it alone like he always has. Ensure these people do not get hurt. To Batman, the emotional safety of the decision outweighs the selfishness behind it. He packs the team into the ship and orders the autopilot to take them somewhere safe. With his wall higher than ever, Batman goes to confront the Joker. The Joker has a simple request, the same as before. Admit what he has with Batman is special. Say the words,
I hate you, Joker.
Right here, Batman can end all the chaos with 3 words. But those 3 words, even in their negative connotation, mean that Batman will have to let someone be a part of his life, and he just can't do that. Sick of Batman's apathy, the Joker sends Batman to the Phantom Zone. In the Phantom Zone, Batman is forced to literally look at the choices he has made throughout the movie. Looking at himself from the outside gives him clarity. If he does not conquer his fear, his city will fall and he will never escape the emotionless rut he is trapped in. He vows change and is allowed to return to Gotham, where his friends are already heading back into the fight. Here, Batman's fears almost come to pass, as Alfred, Robin, and Barbara are all facing imminent life-threatening danger. But rather than stand frozen in the face of fear, Batman acts. Still, saving their lives does not mean all is forgiven. There's a moment it seems he's about to once again fall back into his old habits, barely able to offer any semblance of an apology. But finally, for the first time, he admits out loud,
I was afraid of feeling the pain you feel when you lose someone close to you.
Batman still has one relationship to deal with. Still heartbroken over Batman's rejection, the Joker sets off his bomb, splitting the Lego version of Gotham in 2. The Joker arrives as Batman and company attempt to reach across the chasm in a human chain. Batman allows himself to open his heart, finally admitting to the Joker that they do have a relationship, one that Batman can't live without. Hearing the words he so craved, the Joker forms a human chain of his own, joining hands with Batman to connect the two sides. They mend their broken relationship as they work to mend the city together. Countless civilians join in the effort, forming chains of their own. It takes a village, not a Batman. The greatest villains are often right in the point they wish to make, but go about proving it through nefarious methods. They will ideally be thwarted in their schemes, but manage to pass the good parts of their ideology on to the hero. In another Batman film, The Dark Knight, a very different Joker proves himself somewhat right by getting an upstanding, hopeful man, Harvey Dent, to turn evil. The lesson the Joker teaches this Batman breaks him and makes his life significantly worse. However, in the Lego Batman movie, the Joker teaches Batman something that drastically improves his life. The Joker leaves happily knowing that not only is he hated, but he has made a difference in Batman's life. For only the second time in the entire movie, Batman removes his mask, showing Robin who he is, for better or worse, in all his humanity. He accepts his role as Robin's father with no strings or secrets attached. He completes his character arc as he tells Robin,
Sometimes losing people is part of life, but that doesn't mean you stop letting them in.
We see these themes come to life in harmony as Bruce hangs the picture of him, Robin, Barbara, and Alfred next to the photograph of his parents. Bruce understands that the pain of his parents' death must coexist with this newfound love and vulnerability. Bruce's life will no longer be spent living in fear. Instead, it will be spent happily surrounded by his family.